YouTube, what's going on? It's Richard, founder of STRU and Airbnb Superhost. And today's video is a question for you. What are you doing with your Airbnb profits? So as I'm sure you've experienced firsthand, Airbnb is wildly profitable. I think that's likely to stay here for a period of time, but it's not going to happen forever. So let's not be complacent and just assume that what's working now is going to happen forever and in perpetuity. Let's start to plan. So as Airbnb, your cash engine, is throwing off cash, what are you doing with it? And you can imagine very divergent views. Some people are living off the income and they're going out and they're taking vacations and buying cars and all sorts of nice jewelry and watches, and no, problem with that. But that's very different from somebody who says, I want to take this side gig income and turn it into my full gig and start to become a real estate professional focused in the STR market. So if that's your goal and that's your roadmap where you want to go, then by definition, you need to forego some of those shiny objects that we just talked about before. No jewelry, no watches, no vacations. I mean, you have to have a life, so I'm not telling you to be minimalist and do nothing, but let's find that balance, that equilibrium, where the side gig income is propelling you forward towards your longer term goals to become an STR real estate professional. And if that's what you want to do, if that's your game plan, if you want to scale, then you should be saving as much as possible. Ideally, if this is a side gig income, meaning you have another job, you work somewhere else, you get a W-2 for your primary source of income, then your side gig income, I'd encourage you to save 100% of that. In fact, if you own the home, I'm going to encourage you to save even more. And that's because there's a depreciation expense that is offsetting some of your taxable gain of your ordinary W-2 income. So I don't want you to just not save that either. Let's claw that back and save more than 100%. Let me use an example, if you would. These numbers are completely made up, but I want to give you an example so that the math is really clear. Let's say that you would owe the tax man $10,000 over the course of your W-2 earnings. And as a result of owning a home and the depreciation expense, you made $5,000 in profit at a 33% tax bracket, so there's $1,500 in tax credit. If you owed $10,000, you're likely going to get a $1,500 refund because you only owed $8,500 after the depreciation expense. What I want you to do is take that $1,500 credit that comes back your way and not spend it on fancy things, but instead save it. So now you've saved not only 100% of your side gig Airbnb STR investment income, you've saved even more than that. You've saved the depreciation expense component as well. Now, if you do that consistently over time, and it might take you, depending on how much revenue your STR generates, it might take you 2 years or 3 years, you'll be able to buy a second property. And then you do that again, and a third property. It starts to get faster. The more of these homes that you have that are cash engines, and the more diligent you are with the savings, the more your reserves to go out and buy future properties increases. It increases exponentially. Now, a third option that some consider is to diversify away from real estate altogether and make investments into either stocks or bonds or some other portfolio. And that's okay too. I think that's great. To have investments in real estate and in other investments is really good. I don't recommend cash because the rate of inflation is likely eating that all away. And so consequently, it's just a comfort and a peace of mind, but it's not really growing your wealth. You want your money working for you. So in order of opportunity right now, based on returns that I'm seeing, spending it as income, I don't think is the smart, prudent way to go. Although if people choose to do that, then God bless, that's not a problem. The most lucrative way to invest this money is reinvest it into future short-term rentals, because the opportunity set and the rate of return for the risk that you're taking is very rewarding. And then the third option, and this is a good option to have just as a diversifying agent in your portfolio altogether, is open up an account and start to invest in either stocks or bonds or mutual funds or index funds. That's good too, because your wealth is now working for you. So just consider these different options and know what's important for you so that you're ensuring that your side gig income is commensurate with your future goal and your roadmap, and you're working in that direction every single day. Because if you're not, and you're just seeing how much money's in your bank account, you don't know what your profit is, you don't know what the depreciation expense is, and you feel like you're saving a little bit, or you're going to save next year, you're actually hurting your long-term goal and your long-term vision. And I just want to bring this to your attention right now to try and help us refocus and set goals for the future that we're going to actually crush. Now, one of the beautiful things about home ownership, using short-term rentals by owning homes, is that when you make your mortgage payment every single month, some portion of that pays down the principal, which is money that you own, and some portion pays the interest. Now, that savings in the way of principal repayment is fantastic. But I don't want you to rest on your laurels and say, oh, well, I'm saving money because my real estate is the note that I owe less every single month, and therefore I own more of my home. That may well be true, but just realize that your home price can go like this. So depending on when you exit, if you exit, you may sell when it's down here, and while you owe less on the note, you don't actually have appreciation and you don't have that equity. So you want to have the discipline to make sure that you're saving above and beyond that. And if you can't save 100%, which would be the best case scenario, because your W-2 income doesn't allow you to do that, you need to subsidize your W-2 income, then that's cool. But just be really prudent with it. Do you need 10% of that income from the STR to live off of? Do you need 15? Can you make it 20 and struggle a little bit so you're saving 80 to reach your future goal? The more diligent you can be and the more you can save, the faster you're going to reach your goal. And that's my goal, is to help you reach your goals. So I hope you found this video helpful. If so, please go ahead and like it and subscribe to the channel. If you want to come visit me in person in Nashville for 2 days, I'll be teaching how to manage wealth and profitability and grow and scale your business. So please come check us out in Nashville. Thank you.